It is cold today. We are nearing the end of May, and it's like 55 degrees out right now, and it's cold. It's windy, which makes it worse, and it's raining today. Everyone's getting sick. Like I went out there to feed the babies. Looks like Master D Luke is getting a little sick. He's got the little gunky in his nose. He sleeps in the leaves. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just had leaves stuck in his. No, it's like, snot. Usually when they're sick, it's like, oh, they're fine. As long as they're eating and drinking, they're fine. It's just like people. Most of the time what happens when you get sick? You go to the doctor usually? No. You just kind of whatever. Um we also have two extra kittens in there because someone decided to just put two extra kittens in there. I don't know who it was. I don't know where they came from, but we have two extra kittens. One of them's a little sick right now, but same thing. It's the weather is just kind of odd for the end of May. Normally we'd be like 80s, 90s, but this month has been relatively coolish. We've been in the 80s, close to 90s, but for the most part, it's been relatively coolish to like where the AC hasn't needed to be turned on yet. Um, like normally and that's odd for here because normally North Carolina, our weather, we're January, really cold or cold, and then February it's like 90 degrees, and then it's all the way 90 degrees until like October. So this is weird weather for us. So I'm not feeling that great. Master D Luke looks like he's not feeling that great. One of the babies in there is not feeling that great. They had a bit of an eye infection, or just could because they're sick. Because same thing with their mucousy eyes. If they have respiratory infection, but as long as they're eating and drinking. So I've just kind of gone out there with their eyes, just kind of wipe their eyes with a damp cloth, couple times a day. When they first got here on Tuesday, it was really bad. Like their eyes were like they're like closed and sealed shut with all the mucousy gunk. But I just go out there and wipe their eyes, and they're eating, so that helps having a proper nutrition. All the babies just had their first taste of chicken yesterday. Link had his first taste of it, or at least the smell of it, when he was like 2-3 weeks old. But now all of them know exactly what chicken tastes like. I'll probably give them a can of tuna soon enough. I bought a couple cans of chicken, couple cans of tuna. But the two new ones, look like they're about 3-4 weeks old. They're good kitties though. They're getting along with everyone. Mama's getting along with them, cleaning them and all that great stuff, and they've been welcomed. But now, when the time comes, I mean, because I've already called the Humane Society and stuff like that to see if they could take them, and the Humane Societies, I mean, because as much as I love them and I would love them to be around here, I mean, chances are, given that there's 7 cats now, chances are half of them are probably going to end up getting hit by a car. I go to work and I see, like yesterday, we were driving home and there was a dead kitten in the middle of the road, like a kitten. And I'm like, that's what I don't want. I don't want my cats to end up like that, And because they've been raised in the box, because if they were wandering about, they would have been probably killed already. But, it's like I told my friend, as grandpa, I'm just raising them to be, when they do go to the shelter and get adopted out, they're going to be ready. They're already great with people. They're already litter box trained. They pretty much know their names, even though they don't understand the words themselves. If I'm out there and Zelda starts climbing up and, acting, I'm like, Zelda. And she just stops him. She's like, I didn't, Grandpa, what are you talking about? I'm your little princess, remember? I didn't do anything wrong. Or if, same thing with Roxas climbing up, like, Roxas! And he drops down and pretends like he wasn't doing anything. So they do know their names, or at least the sound um, of their names. We say their names, but it's strange how it works with them. But yeah, the two kittens are adapting well, and while yes, I'm pissed that someone just dumped them here, the fact is it could have been much worse. They could have been, I mean, this is the South. They could have been drowned. They could have been freaking just shot. They could have been thrown on the side of the road. So fortunately, they were put over here rather than the other alternatives that could have been much worse. Because at least here they're being taken care of. They've got siblings to play with. Like I said, they're adjusting fine. So in about 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, when they're 12 weeks old and they're ready to kind of fully be separated from mama, hopefully the Humane Society or one of the shelters have, opened up as trying to be like, looking for a home for it's not going to work that way because no one wants kittens right now. But yeah, it's like I said, if I had my own property and everything, I would love to have them here, obviously. But especially when thinking what happened to Venti and like I said, the kitten that I saw yesterday. I mean, a week. Just in a week, I probably see about 2, 3 dead cats a week. But that's on the main road, the actual road. Neighborhoods, I mean, you don't really see them in a neighborhood, but especially this back alley, people don't, they treat this back alley like it's their own personal NASCAR speedway. Uh, so, I mean, this is, the back alley is where Venti got hit. So like I said, as much as I would love to have them here, get them fixed and have them go off into the world, and if they come back and hang out there, it's cool. If not, they can. But it's, at least in the shelter, you don't have to worry about them getting hit by a freaking car. They're gonna still have each other for the most part, and still have fun time and exercise time, and those proper nutrition and medical assistance and attention when needed. So, plus there's Friends of Stanley County, which is kind of like a foster, so they could always be put into a foster home. And then if it's like, oh, if you're a foster parent, you can't just bring them back. But so right now I'm just trying to do my job, try to raise them as well as possible, so that way they'll be. I mean, they've been introduced. They're great with me. My landlady's sister has seen them and held them. I mean, my roommate does it, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'm sure they would be great around children. There's only one way I actually could find that out. Across the street, I can see if the guy and his daughter want to come over and just kind of, because she told me last time, when Mama had her last litter, about her. She's like, oh yeah, we used to have a cat, and then when the kittens were born, I would see her all the time walking back and forth trying to see them. So I can just easily go over there and say, hey, if you and your daughter, I've got kittens over there that I really kind of want handled with people, because I don't know how, especially right now, I don't know how they are with children. I would assume they're going to be fine. But if you and your daughter want to come over and, kind of play with the kittens, maybe even take one or 7, that'd be great. Because, I mean, I assume they're going to be fine with kids. I assume they're going to be fine. They're fine with everyone else. But with kids, they're just so, they don't mean to be, but they're so rough with them. They pick them up, they like hold them, and they like squeeze them. Like, whereas me, I know I'm strong. I'm a big guy, so when I barely hold them at all. Like, when I pick them up, I kind of like open-handed. I don't actually hold them like that. I just kind of hold them like that because I, I'm so much bigger. But kids don't have that kind of concept yet, you know. But yeah, last year she's like, "Oh yeah, used to have a cat." And speaking of cats, can I help you? You want to join the conversation? Well, what do you want? What? My hand smells like cat food. Um, but yeah, just trying to raise them. I mean, they're doing great with the litter box. I really haven't seen, like, they'll have accidents like most children, but for the most part, they're using the litter box just fine. Come on. There we go. There's my Bubba. There's my Bubba. Yeah, they're using the litter box fine. They're eating fine. They get plenty of playtime. On days like today, I let them out earlier today, and then they'll be coming out again at like maybe 5 or 6. Um, so they're getting plenty of exercise. They're socializing. The two that just got here, they were kind of at first, but they've been opening up a lot more, playing with the others, playing with Mama. So, what, Sam? What? Come here. What? What? And before you guys ask, yes, I will show what the new ones look like when I have a chance. What? What is it, Bubba? Oh, Sam. What? Oh my God, he's so precious. I know. He knows that. Yeah, you're precious, aren't you? And you're purring, you little slut. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. He's just an attention whore. I think it's crazy that cats can tell who you are just by how you step. Like, they know who it is, before you even show up, just by how you walk. It's crazy. The cat's hearing are better than dogs, so they can hear a lot better. They can it's just so crazy that simple things like your step, because you're like, okay, well, how is my step any different than someone else's? Apparently, they can tell. Apparently, they can tell. So it's like when I go out there, they're all, oh my God, it's for Mama, it's like, oh, Daddy's out here. Daddy's coming out. For the others, it's Grandpa's coming out. But for my roommate to be like, oh, well, she's fine, I guess. Simply just by how we step. It's crazy. It's like I said with Link a couple weeks ago. He was, I was holding him and he was just like staring at me, and he was downloading everything. You know, how I was talking to him, how I held him, uh just everything he needed to know. And he's like my little buddy now. If I can't find him, he's sitting next to me. If I'm out there and I'm sitting on the porch, like actually sitting on the porch, like I'm on the ground and they're all playing and I can't find him, all I gotta do is look to my side and there he is. Same thing with Zelda. Those Link and Zelda, they're just Zelda will look at me, she'll just jump right on me and want attention. I'm like, yeah, who's my little princess? Named after the princess herself. Yeah. Sam's like, am I a princess? I mean, it's 2023, so you can be whatever you want. Uh, but yeah. I went out there and it was pretty cold, but I'm looking inside the box. I'm like, nah. it's probably really warm in that box. You know, they've got their little sheet in there, and I had to move their water because I had the water right next to the litter box, but it kept getting crap in it. So I'm like, okay, well maybe I should move it over here to the other side of the box. Um, I had to go out and buy some more cat litter for them. I mean, that cat litter lasted for, considering there's 5 of them at first, and they were pretty much all using the litter box. The fact that it lasted, what, 2.5 weeks or so? That small thing. Did you poot? Left a little parting gift. Ah, yeah, he pooted. He's like, Sam. Me and my friend had a cat that did that. His nickname was Pootus. His name was Legolas, but we called him Pootus because he would just poot all the time. If you picked him up and held him, chances are you just it's just real subtle and you would hear it, and then he'd be like, "Oh, gotcha." But yeah, it's cold. But like I said, I was out there. I'm like, it's probably nice and warm. Like the freaking thing, the cardboard out there is like this thick, so it's nice and warm in there. It's like completely, it's like 5 feet freaking tall, so it's not really letting letting the wind blow into it. So it's probably nice and warm in there for them compared to their first box. That blanket though, I got rid of that blanket because it'd been crapped on and pissed on so much that I wash it, and even with some of the best smelling detergent, and it still smelled like shit. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to worry about the freaking washer and dryer smelling like crap and all that. And so once the kittens are, in a new place and everything, it's not like I want to bring it back into the house and, because it smells like shit. It just subtly smells, it's not, actually, it wasn't really subtle smell. It actually just smelled. But I was like, I'm just going to get rid of it. It was part of a set that my roommate got for me for this bed, but it didn't fit this bed. I used you can see the 2 pillowcases right there. Those came in. I used those. But this blanket I couldn't use because it was too small. So I was like, oh, let me just use it for out there and just wash it when need be. But it just became too much of a hassle because they would shit all over it. I would have to like spray with the hose, but then it was so big and heavy that I would have, drags through the grass, and then it gets to, all over, and it was too much of a hassle. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to replace it. I'm just going to get rid of it and just keep that red sheet in there, because the blanket was mainly for Mama, so that when she was laying down and feeding them, she would be comfortable. But Mama doesn't get in there to feed them. She does get in there to give them dead birds, however, because I went outside before, another dead bird. So she's been hunting and putting it in. I went out there and it was either Misa, was it Misa or Roxas? It was one of them. They were just like smacking it around, and I was like, what is it? I looked at it because it was, it was in the corner, it was in shadows, and I saw it was like a dead bird. I'm like, of course. I mean, it's sweet that she's trying to take care of them, but she forgets that they have food, which she shouldn't, because she's been getting in there trying to eat their food. So, but it's great that she's trying to feed them. That's what a mama does. But every so often I go out there and there's a dead bird in the box. Bird box. But yeah, everyone's good. Yeah, Sam, everyone's good. Potato Chan's good. I'd say Lucifer's good, but I haven't seen him in a couple days. Actually, I think I saw him the other day, or it was the other cat. There's a cat around here that has a collar on, and this one I saw looked like it had that collar. Usually it's over there, but I saw it over there. But Lucifer comes over every so often, so, to let Dad know that he's okay. Also, I was like, Mom, have you seen your brother around? Actually, he should really be Grandpa because he's so much older. I think Meowsy is like 4 years old, and Lucifer's like 55. No, he's 10 years old or more, but he's old. But everyone's good. Yeah, yeah, feeling good on a Saturday. Um, yeah, apart from D-Luke and the baby being sick, which I'm trying to still think of a name because they're still going to be here for like what 5 more weeks. So I need to think of a name. You know, I've looked through Genshin names, I've looked through Zelda names. I'm trying to think of animes that I like that nice names that because I have Keiko, and I'm like, okay, well, Yu Yu Hakusho, I got Keiko, let me Botan or Shizuru or Atsuko or something. But I'm like, do I really want a cat named Botan? Um, but I'm still trying to think of names for them. It'll come to me though. Um, it's strange weather. Strange weather. It's the end of May, and I'm sitting here freezing. I'm just happy it rained. I mean, it's been raining a lot, but it feels like an autumn day today. But yeah, everyone just seems to be getting sick. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.